Hey YouTubers, Grimmy Dragon here, and once again it's review time, and if you see this box, I think you know what I'm looking over today. Yeah, that's right, we got Takara's Unite Warriors Computron. Um, and get used to seeing this box all week, because this is going to be a bit of a marathon review. Since the last few times I've tried to do like full combiners all at once, it's taken up to an hour. I figured I'd break it up into individual segments, see if we can save some time, and maybe go a little bit more in depth in those figures. So, I guess it's time we got started. And we're going to start off with the one that is the least retooled, and that would be Lightspeed. Well, let's see. Yeah, here we go. And as you can see, he is a repaint of Wheeljack. Pretty much a straight up repaint, except for the weapons, which are kind of new. But yeah, we'll get into those in robot mode. But yeah, they just peg onto the sides, much like Wheeljack's weapons. Get two identical guns. And of course, since it's not using new hands and feet, unfortunately, you get the hand-foot gun. Same one that came with Wheeljack or Breakdown or Sunstreaker. And it just went on the same way. But looking at Lightspeed himself, he looks really good. I love that shade of red. And I like the darker bits of red on the spoiler and on the front bumper. I mean, he does look like a pretty sweet race car and fits his G1 self quite well. I don't have a G1 Computron, unfortunately. I only got Scattershot, but yeah, I believe this one actually fits that G1 style pretty well. Although it is more of a modern car rather than a futuristic one. Still looks really good. Paint is as wonderful as you would expect from Takara. This one doesn't really need a lot of detailing, but well, okay, no tail lights. Bummer. Okay, that's a point off. But still, it's pretty good. You got the nice, shiny hubcaps there. You got the silver headlights. The front bumper is actually painted a darker shade of red, which is good. Silver all across the window and windshield. And since, you know, Lightspeed pretty much just had a glass all around, this does a good job of simulating that without actually being that, since you actually got individual door windows and it still keeps its shape. Just has some red to break it up. Again, tail fin done nicely. All in all, really good. Oh yeah, you got the Autobot badge tampoed right there, and you can see another one in the grill. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Now the US version of Lightspeed, that's what Hasbro has to call them. Takara doesn't have to worry about that, thankfully. Was a repaint of Streetwise. I don't have the Hasbro Computron, unfortunately, but we're just going to use what else used the mold for them to the best of my ability. But yeah, they basically had this guy mostly white with a red on the sides. But while this is a good mold, I'm not fond of light bar on it. And all in all, I think Takara made the right choice. And I think this is actually the better choice for Lightspeed. For another comparison though, we'll bring in Wheeljack. And yeah, in this mode, honestly, I think Lightspeed actually may have less paint on him than Wheeljack, which is kind of mind-boggling now that I think about it. Let's bring him out back a little bit. But what little paint apps Lightspeed has, he uses well, and since G1 Lightspeed was pretty much a solid red most of the way through, I think this works. So, and especially since this is going off the cartoon, which was really completely red, yeah, this works. Okay, so it works pretty well. I can live with that. I just wish he had tail lights. But anyway, let's get him into robot mode and see how he looks there. Okay, so here we have Lightspeed in his robot mode, looking really good. This is quite a nice mold for Lightspeed. It obviously not perfect, but it works pretty well. As you can see, he's done up mostly in red, but he does have some silver paint highlights here and there. And it actually has multiple shades of red in his color scheme, where you got some darker red to fill out the abs, the thighs, little bits on the shins, and even his hands, which is pretty nice. Bringing it a little closer, the head sculpt is done fairly well. Very true to Lightspeed. Got those nice big blue visors. Well, that big blue visor, I'm sorry. But yeah, the head shape going to the back is a little unusual. The visor goes all the way to the back of the head almost. I mean, close to the back of the head at least. But all in all, it does look good. And given that they kind of have to fit this in that crevice where they had to flatten the Botcon Ravage head, Wheeljack and Sunstreaker had flatter heads pretty much. So yeah, this works. I mean, this is fine. Zooming out a little bit. As I mentioned, they actually did paint the hands a darker red, which is really good. And all in all, he looks really nice. I do like it. I think the color scheme works well. For his weapons, yeah, you do get these two pistols, or rifles, or, you know, rather large guns. Well, decently sized guns at least. And he's dual wielding them pretty well. Now you could put the hand-foot gun on the back, much like Sunstreaker, Breakdown, or Wheeljack, but I'm not going to do that, so, oh well. Now for comparisons, bring in Wheeljack, since Lightspeed is a direct repaint of Wheeljack, and you can really see what a difference a paint job will make. I mean, not only a better paint job in Lightspeed, but you know, different color schemes really do bring out different characteristics. So I'm quite fond of that. We'll also bring in the mold used for Lightspeed, the Hasbro Lightspeed, since I don't have that version, and that would be using the Streetwise mold. And yeah, it's a very different robot mode for certain. Build is a lot of people like this mold better, and I think ultimately it is a stronger mold. But the way they did Lightspeed, this guy looks so much better. And, you know, Lightspeed had a lot more white in his robot mode, which did not look like the character at all. So I'm very happy that that Takara. Gotta get everything straight here. Takara made this choice. So yeah. So I'm glad Takara did. So anyway, for articulation, you got a ball jointed head, real nice, very fluid. Ball jointed shoulders, work pretty well. Pretty much a double jointed elbow, which is great, and that's due to transformation. Got a waist, always gotta love that. Ball jointed hips, they are on that little funny hinge for transformation though, so you gotta be careful with those. Got thigh swivel, knee bend, and that's about it. But, you know, that's enough to get some nice poses. And really bring him out. So, I do like that. And since one of the joints for the elbows is a ball joint, you do get some sense of wrist articulation. So yeah, added bonus. So I really do like this robot mode. Yeah, it's not the strongest, but it still works very well, and Lightspeed wears it beautifully. So it is a win. Anyway, that'll cover it for Lightspeed's segment of the video. Tune in next time as we look at the next figure in the line, which will actually be Scattershot himself. So I hope we see you then. In the meantime, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. And I'll see you next time. So until then, goodbye out there, whatever you are.